We turned this platter, and I told you we weren't done with it. And as I look at this, it looks nice, and it will twinkle and winkle and everything, but this band is calling for something. So what I want to do, reduce the thickness of the band in a few spots so that I can do some piercing, and the piercing will look good. So I'm thinking 3 spots, 1, 2, 3, I've reduced that. And then the other 3 spots would get something carved, like a rose or. Haven't decided on that part yet. Or maybe some lacing going all the way around to accent the piercing, or the piercing will accent that, like vines around a trellis. So first step is we index the piece using my index wheel on my lathe to give me 6 points. Yeah, 6 points. I'm going to use the first 3, and I'm going to reduce the thickness by putting them in my chuck here. But I've shimmed the chuck out a 1/2 inch and added extra bumpers on 1/2 of it. What it's going to do is let me grab this dish, this platter, and hold it, but keep the center out. Now, how do I reference that? I'm going to put a mark halfway between these two, and I'm going to put my reference mark on that mark so I can always bring it back to it. Got it? Got it. Okay. That's my reference mark. The spacing on the studs are 6 inches. So I'm going to bring it back to here. That happens to be the high point of the overall high point of what I'm pushing out on. Now the deal here is when you tighten it down, you have to make sure you're pushing on opposite and here. And otherwise you could be holding it a little bit crooked. Now again, I've got my lathe speed turned down to about 500 RPMs. This might make you a little dizzy. Let's do a little test spin here. So what I'm looking at, okay, to do that, rubber bumper is going to be, I also know that the face is 2 1/4. Center is 2 1/2, or 2 1/4, center is 1 1/8. This outside edge is now, at this point, about 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to use my 18mm round to do this. I just re-indexed using the same mark, same series. I had 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one, number 4, the one I have up, I'll get confused here. These work. I'm going to start again. I do have my reference mark here, and I can always flip over and see what I did here to make sure I copy it again. I'd like them all to be the same. And I want a little thicker where I'm not carving, where I'm not piercing and I'm doing the carving. Again, I'm down to probably around 700 RPMs. Why? Mainly because I've added that 1/2 inch shim and I'm out of balance. And even on a large lathe, that does matter. We'll get in cutting now. Goodness, if I could just remember to put my shield on before something hits me in the face. When I was a construction superintendent, I told people, first time something hits you in the face, you better have your eyes protected. Don't rely on memory too much. Go in and check. This is my piece. This is what I'm looking to copy what's here. Right? I pretty much have the flat right. I need to clean up this corner. Doesn't take much to get in trouble. Now we have all three sides taken care of. What I do at this time is sand these spots out. I'm power sand out to make the changes between them. The easiest way is to take off two bumpers, sand this area, rotate it, sand this area, rotate it, sand this area, rotate it. So I'm going to take off the two at the high point because I can be held down here at the notch of the bumpers, and it allows me a little bit of give space. All right? Okay. I'm going to start in with some 220. Let's just see what happens. Be a little bit slower, so we're going to step down to 180. Using 3-inch pads, this is a great way to store them. These are those, what brand? Ziploc. I got all the flats sanded out. High point, high point, high point, which references to the pencil marks that's on the back here. Those are my permanent reference lines. But I have a little bit of something going on around this edge. So I chucked it back up to run through again. Because this remains. This shoulder, and you can't see it so well, so let me get you over here. Come on, stick with me. Don't get seasick now. See that edge? That sticks with me. And I think I can true that up. So why don't I do that right now? I've got a really sharp tool. See how that looks. It's a little bit better. At least it's something I can work with now. You don't want to take it off the lathe to something you can't work with. Sanding being all done, gonna rub on a little sealer. I'll catch all those other spots when I pull it off the chuck. This is a little bit more convenient than holding it in my lap or on the table to put the base coat on. And this is just so I don't dirty the work up while I'm holding it to get it ready for the next phase. this is our pattern, and our reference marks have been carried from the back to the front. And I pretty much did that by looking over the edge, seeing the other mark, lining up the center, carrying up top. It's not that exact of a science, but here's the thing. If you're going to do decoration on a piece, this is an opinion just like an elbow. I got two of them. You don't like the first one, I'll show you the second one. All right. It has to be balanced. Now, you can do just the top half of a platter as long as it's a focal point and it diminishes, focal point diminishes. That works for me. But if you have roses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something happens. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do roses. I'm going to do mosquito hawks. Okay, you don't call them mosquito hawks. You call them dragonflies. Right. This is available at Michael's Arts and Crafts. And I see my center mark. I'm going to go up and say, I'm going to put that, and here, this is my edge of my bowl right there. Right. I'm going to put this right to one side. Now, don't get so excited if you go real fast and you lose track. You're going to do something different with the engraver. This is just an idea, so you have a basic idea what you're putting in. And all you will do on this is put in an outline. Now, it's even hard to see with this. If you could come up with a white pencil, it would work better. But I know where I'm at, and if I do the light right, you know, like this or that or whatever, you can see them. Right, I'm going to have one this way, and on this one, it'll be the same direction. Maybe I'll make them all flying off to the east. Long as there's a theme. I'll stick with my remark about them being balanced. And these stencils are cut so that these pieces, you know, will hold up. But when you're making it, if you decide to leave out these veins and make the leaf one continuous piece, that's your choice. That's freedom of expression. So I have two mosquito hawks going up this way. This is where I'm going to have the piercing because it's the thinnest right here. And maybe this will be a net or whatever. And then over here I'm going to have another one going up. Now I can pick this. Remember, these are made to be sprayed through. I don't know if you can see them there. How about that? These are made to be sprayed through so this pattern remains. This is just a pattern I used. I like this, and I will connect them and not have those bands. I think I'd like that better. Now, these flew off this way. I might have these fly off a little bit askew going up this way. I have my center mark up there. I think this is about ready. Now, why? Because it takes a long time to do it. I pierced out the three parts. I cut in the mosquito hawks, or the dragonflies, after I had it sealed, and I sealed it, sanded it, sealed it, sanded it, and sealed it again. Then I went ahead and took and rubbed in some fluorescent blue and fluorescent green into the butterflies to change their colors a little bit. I've sanded it out. See, the back is, I've got one more coat of seal to buff off on this. And this is getting really good. Notice the chatoyance is still there. Yeah, it's not going away because I've got it sanded properly. It's dirty right now. I need to blow out all the pores. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a last look at some little defects in the sealer, touch that up, and then I'll probably put a finish coat on it. This is a nice project. And because you're going to ask me, this is the crotch that we turned a couple of weeks ago. It dried. I was out of here for a while, the hurt arm. It dried improperly. I got some small cracks. So what I'm working right now is I'm embedding those cracks with a glittered or a pulverized powder infill product. And I tore the label off and threw it away that I picked up at an arts store. So when this is all filled out, I'll go back to sanding it again, put a finish on it. That one's wrapping up. Now, as we wrap up today's segment, I want to tell you, I heard from one of the guys. In fact, it was Jack Major. Jack said, Cap, I wanted to build your parting tool, and I know I have one. Oh, here it is. I wanted to build your parting tool that you did out of a hacksaw blade. And looking around the shop, I figured, you know, it's easier than making that handle. And that was a pretty good bit of work, right? Okay. And some guys aren't set up to do it. He said, went to the hardware store and I found this. Well, actually, Jack went to Home Depot and he found this. This is a stiff scraper from Home Depot. From Husky, it's SKU number 720808. I'll put it right here. Okay, write that down. And it's a stiff, very stiff scraper. It's about twice as thick as a stiff putty knife. But we're going to shape this, take the front off carefully so we don't overheat it, and make this into a parting tool just like this. Now how's that? Jack, you cut all the corners, man. This was $5.45. And you're going to shape it and make, that was cheaper than a saw blade. Jack, you're ruining my show here, bud. I mean, you keep coming up with these cost-saving ideas that these guys can use, and they won't be spending all their money on the catalog services. Oh, wait. That's a good thing, Jack. That's a real good thing. Okay. Well, that wraps it up. I'm Captain Eddie. I'm going back to making shavings. I got a whole lot of wood out back, and I got to make it into little bitty pieces. You take care now. And don't forget, I still have the lowest prices on cutters and turning stock when it comes to our carbide tools than anybody I can find in the world. So check out my website at eddiecastellan.com and see what you got. What you got? No, see what's. You check it out and you figure it out. Okay? Take care. I gotta start turning more wood. I'm just getting shop crazy. Hey, wasn't quite done. I went over to the grinder because I was holding that stiff putty knife in my hand. Putty knife, scraper, chisel, whatever they call it. I think it's called a 1.5-inch chisel scraper stiff. Went over to the grinder and played for about 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Voila. Can you see it? I put it in front of my shiny head. You see that? That's a parting tool. 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Under $10. That Jack Major's a freaking genius. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Jack Major is a genius. Thank you, Jack. You other guys, you keep those tips coming. I'll either put my name on them or I'll share them. Whatever works. Bye.